She responds to Levi Shpasar Yaakov Shalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding Bava Kamet of Tzaddik Gimel. This is the daf we learn on Shabbos and record afterwards. So we're starting from the second line of Tzaddik Gimel. Only Rova l'Rabbi Amari. Mino Amil Sadar Hinchi. How is this thing that people know? People say. So we mentioned in the previous daf. The Gemara knows if people say it, it means it's emes. And if it's emes, it needs to be Romos in the Torah because it's takal b'raiso b'ralmo. What do people say? Someone who's rich, Sivi Meshech, you should pull wood after him. In other words, if you're associated with someone who's successful, the success will get to you as well. He had sheep, he had cattle, he had tents. He also benefited from the fact that Avram was so rich. Someone who tells the Baruch, I want you to punish that guy. I have a time against that guy. He gets punished first. Sarai told Avram, I have an anger against you. I'm upset with you. Then it says that Avram came and he in other words, Sarah died first. It's only if you have a din in the land, you can go to Beis Din. And today says Sarah could have gone to Beis Din of Shem. And the Shor Machshav, we mentioned that this is the flip side of the Gemara said in the previous daf that someone asks for mercy on his friend. So if you ask for mercy or you ask for something bad, it goes on the person who's asking first. Why? He's the conduit to bring it, so he's the closest to it. That's what the Maharal explains. The one who screams is worse than the one who's screaming on. That's a Rashi. That's the use that we have. They both will get punished. The one who screams and complains, he gets first. It said, like Rashi says, this is the same word we had before, just another way to say it. Toys brings another girso. We're talking about someone who deserves, who screams, an ani, who is suffering from somebody. Doesn't, for example, he takes his collateral, doesn't give it back to him. He takes his mashka. So if he screams at Akash Baruch Hu will answer him first, even though the other one will be punished as well. But if someone davens to Hashem and screams to Hashem and complains to Hashem when he can't go to Beis Din, when he deserves it, Akash Baruch Hu answers the one who's crying to him more than the one earlier than the one who doesn't. Don't take lightly a curse, even if someone who's not a chasher person. She gave a curse to Sarah. It applied to her children. He told her ksus. So now like Rashi brings the Chumash, the way the Gemara learns the Rashi is, because you hid for me. He didn't tell me that he's your husband. As he caused me this suffering, your children should be blind. Yitzchak became blind. This goes back to Yitzchak became blind for many other reasons. But you have to have the trigger. The trigger was this curse. So you see the curse works. And the way the Mepharshim bring, when Yoda brings over here, it's only if it's a legitimate time. If someone just curses somebody else, you don't have to take it seriously unless he's a chacham. But if he has a reason to curse, then the curse works. Always make sure that not to be one chasing somebody else. Be the ones who's being nirduf. Which bird is the most being chased is the dove, the pigeon. That goes to the Mizbeach. And here, when Bukhari brings it, you have that even if a tzaddik runs after a rasha, Akash Baruch Hu it comes to the nirdaf. There is a in that Akash Baruch Hu is the nirdaf who needs Hashem. Anybody who needs Hashem, who relies on Hashem, Akash Baruch Hu comes to his help. I always mention what the Gemara brings, that what the Rishonim bring, that the Pasuk says in Tehillim, it says, the Rosh has a lot of suffering. Someone who trusts Hashem, Chesed Sovenu. Say the Rishonim, Ramban, Shar Gemul, and others, it should have said that tzaddik. What's the opposite of a Rosh? A tzaddik. Rabbi Mochayim the Rosh. That tzaddik Chesed Sovenu. Right? It's not Hashem. Because someone who relies on Hashem, he gets the full support from above. Someone who needs a Kodesh Baruch Okay, says the Gemara. Someone who says blind man. Why regarding the eye, he is chayav, and regarding the clothing, he's patur. When someone tells his friend to cause them a damage, is chayav. The friend tells them to tear his clothing, is patur. He's not really moichel on his limbs. What about the fact that he's suffering? Tanya Keni Ptseini, if the person says, come hit me and hurt me, and if they're potter, so why is he moichel? Ishti. More said he didn't have an answer. Do you have another answer? The reason is because of Gam Mishpacha. Because the Mishpacha, if you take someone's limbs off, it's damaging the family. They have someone who's missing a limb in the family. It bothers the family. The Rabbi brings you two pirushim. Either Pshat bothers the family, and therefore this guy is not moichel, even though he says a moichel, he really is not moichel. Or because it bothers the family, so you have to pay because of the family. The problem with the second Pshat of the Rabbi is, why do you pay this guy? He was moichel. Okay. Like we said, he's not willing to give up Rosh Hashanah. Sometimes yes can be no. Sometimes no can be yes. Person says, hit me. I'm not lifter because I want you to be potter. I'm not lifter, so the guy says, will I be potter? I'm only in, yes. In other words, he's cynical. Doesn't really mean it. He's joking around. He says, hey, hit me. Will it be potter? Yeah, you'll be potter. He doesn't really mean it. Kraz ksus not lifter. Kraz ksus, he says, I can tear my clothing. I'm not lifter. Will it be potter? Probably laugh. He said, no. How are you not shuken? Even though he said no, he means like, Rashi says, it's like a little beat me. He says, will it be potter? Yes. You think it'll be potter by hitting me? You will be potter. No, you think you'll be chayav? So it really depends on the context. Here's the right way to say, it really depends on the context. It depends where it is. That's what Rashi learns this way. Toyos learns no. Toyos learns the pshat is that when you're talking about damaging a body, always the pshat is the person doesn't really moichel. And even though he says he is, he doesn't really mean it. And by clothing, he does mean it. And this goes to what this mashmos of Shulchan Aruch we mentioned before. Ravun Margolius brings the Ridbaz on the Rambam that the body of a person doesn't belong to him. If it doesn't belong to him, you can't be moichel. The clothing does belong to him. So in the body, it doesn't really mean to be moichel because it's not his to be moichel. But the clothing, it says it really means that. The Chortois works better with that. Sing Mashmos Kadi Kras Tuzi Chayov. Break my vessel, tear your chayv. For me, lishmor v'lo la'abed, lishmor v'lo likroya, lishmor v'lo chelek lanim. When a person has to be a guard in something, is obligated only if it wasn't given to him for a different purpose. It was given to him to guard, but not to tear. Guard, not to give it out. If it didn't come to his hand, he was in the hand of the friend and he tore it. So then he's potter. Once it came to his hand, then he's chayav. We talk about they came to his hand, so lishmor means. Hello, my brother. They talk they came to his hand. If it came to his hand to be a shaymer, and then he told you could tear it. Once you're a shaymer, if you're tearing it, you're chayav. But if when it came to his hand, he said you're taking this in order to a condition to tearing it, so then you're potter. He brings the Rimshad and explain it, but that will stick with this. How no could it's doko? Also Pumadiso. Came this money of tzedakah to Pumadiso. After the Yeshiva Gabi Ugaver, Yeshiva deposited by this person to keep it. Possible. He didn't keep it well. Asugan Megadvo. Came the thieves and took it. Chayvir of Yosef. Rav Yosef is mechayevim to pay. We learned the only time you have shmira, if it's a shmira for somebody, he has an obligation to. But if you have to give it to anim, that's not an obligation because the owner is not asking for it, and the anim are not asking for it because there's no. I mean, they want it, but there's no moment, there's no specific anim they can come ask for it. Only anim the pomedius so make it kaitz over lishmar. Whatever a pomedius has, each one has his chelik. He knows exactly supposed to get. It's not just anim. You'll give it randomly to anim. The pomedius so everyone has his portion. He gets $20 a day, he gets $30 a day. They know exactly what it is. So it's moment shesh l'toivim. That's the money. They know exactly what they are supposed to get. And they come in tiveh, they come and demand it. And with this, that's the end of Perek Shmi. Try Perek Chi. Hagoizel eitzim v'asom kiad. Someone steals wood, makes it into kli. Tzemer v'asom godim, he took wool, made the clothes. Mishal gishasek zela. Why? Shinu. We're going back to Shinu, even though we learned it earlier in the Masechta. We learned it in Perek Shmi. Now we're going back to a specific Perek designated for Shinu. So someone who comes in, steals, and changes it, you pay like Shasek Zela. The more going to speak exactly what's the time of the Shinu. He stole an animal, was pregnant, she gave birth. He stole a sheep who has wool in it, and he sheared her. He pays the way it was originally. He stole a cow. She became pregnant, and then she gave birth. Or it was a rachel. She got wool, and then he sheared her. It also goes k'shasek zeil. Right? That's why this is considered to be that if she gave birth, or he grew by him to give birth, in these cases, always considered to be in the first case, you go back to what you stole, because it's considered shinu. And in this case, you also go back to what you stole, and nothing happened over here. Now, in the first case, we talk about, you go back to what it stole. It's considered to be shinui. There's a machlekes we show you what is the shinui. Is the shinui the fact that the animal changed? Or the shinui is the fact in the baby, or the wool. The baby changed. The baby was in the mother, and it went out. The wool was on the animal, and it was sheared. But the animal itself is no shinui. Is the shinui in the animal itself? The community is, do you have to give back the animal? If you hold there was a shinui in the animal, you don't have to give back the animal. But if you hold there's no shinui in the animal you have to give back. Only the blood that you pay. Zakla, is the rule. The Gazloim always pay like the time of the Gzelo if there was shinui. So the word Amri, Eitzi Vasom Kelim in Shifamai. Masha, only if you took wood and you turn it into a vessel. But if you smooth the wood, then you're potter. If you took wool made into clothes, leave it on life. If you just cleaned it, no. Very meaning is like more question. Goes like you took wood and you smoothed it. You took stones and you carved it. You took wool and you cleaned it. You took flax and you cleaned it. You pay like time the Gzelo. Why pay like time the Gzelo? Because you consider that's shinui. So why does the Mishnah have to say he took clothes, he took a wool made into clothes? Before you made the clothes, you cleaned it first. That was in the process. So by cleaning it, you already did shinui. Not by the time that shinui the Rabbanan the Hodra. Of course, you can shinui the Raisa. Our Tana is talking about shinui, which is revocable. You can go back to its original state. And of course, shinui the Raisa, which can't go back. What do you mean? It explains. We talk about wood they made into kli. It's already smooth wood. Meaning it's flat piece of wood. The shear will be also. It can go back to its original state. Why? The boy mashed the fluid. If he wants, he can retake out the wood. Meaning he made a kli out of wood, but the wood was already clear. So what all he put in nails or attached to with glue. He can come and take it out. It goes back. That's what our Mishnah says. Eitziv Asom Kelim. Summer Vasom God, you talk about wool that turn into clothes. But summer Tavu, it's already smooth wool. It was cleaned, it would turn into threads. The shear don't be also. You can always take the clothing, make it back to threads. The buy sasolo, you can go back. The coach can shear the rice. Of course, shear they can go back. The Tana brought rice, so that spoke about taking wood and smoothing it, taking clothes and taking wool and cleaning it. Talk about shear the rice, Ktani. The time of shear the rice, I mean, once you clean it, you can't go back. Once you smooth it, you can't go back. The shear the rabbanon like that. We didn't speak about shear the rabbanon. So our what is the first answer? The Gemara, really our Mishnah agrees. You take wood and you smooth it, you take wool and you clean it, it's a shinui. It's a great better shinui. I'm talking about already that's smooth or clean, and he did something which is revocable. Rashi said, our Mishnah is also talking about shear the Eitziv Asom Kelim, we talk about Eitziv Asom Kelim Buchani, the Ainu Shifon, meaning it's a type of kli that you use for grinding. So he took a piece of wood and he smoothed it. There's nothing else. There's no nails or glue. He's not creating a kli over here. He makes here some utensils with these pieces of wood by smoothing them. What does it mean? Namti, as Rashi says. We're talking about we talk about you don't clean it. It's a wool that doesn't clean. You don't wash it. It cannot go back to its original state. Okay, so the Gemara says we have cases. Really, our Mishnah spoke about what was the original question of the Gemara. Why do you speak about a case that you took wood and made it into kli? Before you made it kli, you smoothed it. Why are you talking about wool and made it into abgadim? Before that, you cleaned it. So first the answer is we took it already cleaned or already smooth. Second answer is we talk about that there's no middle stage. There's only one stage. So if libur miyavashinu is cleaning a shinu, very meaningfully speaking, talk about you have to give the kohen wool. So once there's enough amount of wool, you give it to the kohen. What happens if, as he's shearing the wool, he changes it, so it doesn't add up to be chayav to the kohen? So let's speak literally. We didn't have enough time to do it, to give it to him. Until he painted, till he dyed it. Potter. He doesn't have to give the wool to the kohen. Libner, if he just cleaned it, didn't color it, chayov. So what do you see? Libner is not a shinu. I'm showing our abundance. It's like this. Tanoim is cleaning, it's said to be a shinu. Tanya goes tavoy v'arogoy. He sheared it, and then he weaved it, and he smoothed it. Aim its staff. It's considered to be shinu. Libno, if he cleaned it. Shunay me aim its staff. Chaymorim its staff. So cleaning is a machlekes, doesn't work or not. Reb Shimon. This is both Reb Shimon. V'lei kasha. What's the dinaptzin? He puts the sarkasiruki. Rashi learns that he puts he's doing in his hand. He's cleaning his hand. And sarkasiruki is doing with a comb, with a comb. So with the comb is a more professional way, and that's really considered to be shinu. And the other with the hand is not a shinu. The question is, what's the level of cleaning? The first one, Chavi Chibur, it's an easy clean. Chavi Chibur is doing with soap, with the detergent, it's a much better cleaning, and that's the division. So in 1 second. Dyeing, coloring is not shinui. You want to tell me cleaning is shinui? The time, it doesn't apply so. Again, talk about the coin. That he cut off the wool. And he colored it, he dyed it. Or he cut off pieces and he smoothed it, or he weaved it. And it's staff. That's a shimon. Shimon says the name of Shimon, coloring it, dyeing it, is not considered to be shinui, and you still put the wool together. It's a machlekes, the shitza of Shimon. Rabbanan hold according to Shimon that coloring, dyeing is a shinu, and therefore libner is also a shinu, or maybe a shinu. And Shimon also holds that it's not. There really is no machlekes. Hi, you said that by libner, by cleaning is a shinu. That could be that dyeing is not a shinu. So if a shani tzeva, you know what coloring or dyeing is different? Will be chola viroi al yedei sofer. Talking about that you can go and clean it out. Tzafon is a certain type of material that you go ahead, or detergent, that you can take away the color. V'chiktani, chosom, they speak the knowledge at Save Potter, and what we're talking about by that once you colored it, and everybody agrees it's considered to be shinui, talk about a certain type of coloring, because that never goes back. And Rashi says libun is the same thing, it never goes back. So we talk about saying it never goes back. If it never goes back, that's a shinui that we agree to. In other words, the Gemara here is introducing the idea, what we learned throughout the Amud, that there's two types of shinui. The shinui that are revocable, that goes back to its original state, as the shinui which is not revocable, and that's for sure going to be a better shinui. The Gemara called it shinui deraiso, as comparison to shinui derabbanan. We said Gamor Kol Tov.